Early morning pack rafting trip. Yeah, go on then. First, bit of coffee, and then we're walking the pooch, because he can't come on this one with me. Bags all packed. Let's get out the door. Now I love being out this early. Sun just poking its head through there. Birds singing. And I've got a proper spring in me step. So, it's the 6:15 metro to Sunderland. Getting fleeced £5 for a ticket, but then enjoying the whole platform to myself. The metro's quiet now, but little did I know there's a half marathon on in Sunderland today, so glad that I was up nice and early to beat the crowds. Cheeky little pit stop for breakfast, and then we're back on the road heading towards Sunderland Rowing Club. And we're getting close now. First proper views of the river. What a glorious morning for it. So we'll make our way through these little tracks here. Hoping that there's no asbos kicking around. Definitely not at this time in the morning. And we've made it, gang. And now the excitement's ramping up. Time to grab all my gear out. There's my paddle. Next, the kayak itself. Amphibio Rebel 2K. What a purchase. Some boat shoes. Gotta keep them trainers dry. And a waterproof bag for the electricals. Right, let's get this thing set up. So first up, we're blowing up the seat. I'm just doing that with the old lungs. As you can see there. But for the rest of it, I've got the flex tail pump doing its job. And whilst that's doing its job, I can get ready. Life jacket on, make sure everything's sorted. Job's a good one. Now, we'll get this bag strapped up, ready for the journey. Oh, and there's a skeg, really important, otherwise I'll be going around in circles. What a day, come on! Hee. And we're being mega cautious here, not to fall on my arse, going down them steps. And that first little leap into the boat is a little bit worrying. Obviously, we've got the leash onto the paddle, so I don't drift off without it. And we're away! So anyone that follows the channel will know that I've got a new camera, the DJI 360, and I got that mainly for my pack rafting trips. We can just pop it up, press record, and get every angle. And I can focus on the paddling. Right into the middle of the river now, going with the flow. Tell you what folks, this is the life. This is the life. Spin your own. Right, so we're coming up now on the SS Crete Hauser probably murdered that. But it's the first of many wreckages that are left here on the River Wear. And this one's a bit special. It was made out of concrete because during World War One, steel was scarce, so they made it out of concrete, which is a bit mental. It was built on the River Wear itself, and there's a bit of a local myth that says it was a decoy for German bombing during World War One, but I've read up that it was actually used as a tugboat, so who knows? Definitely seen better days. Okay, and then just a little further down the river, from the old into the new, we've got the Northern Spire, which was opened in 2018. And it's the tallest bridge, pylon bridge, in the UK outside of London, at 105 metres. It was inspired by Sunderland shipbuilding past with its kind of mast and sail design. And it's an absolute treat to paddle underneath. But this is what it's all about. I love being down on the water. It gives you such a different perspective of the city. I must have drove past some of these landmarks 1,000 times, but down on the water, you just feel like you're getting something different. We've got some more signs here of Sunderland's industrial heritage. I think these would have been shipbuilding yards, but I'm not sure. But as you can see here, I'm paddling over a little bit closer to the edge because I've come across what looks like another shipwreck, or a boat wreck. It's a little bit smaller. Let's see if we can get a bit closer. So yeah, there's another one that's seen better days. But I don't want to get too close, just in case there's anything underneath that's going to sink my little bag of air. And onwards we go. Right, we're making good progress now. I'm about 3 miles in, and the overall route's about 4.5. Now I'm approaching the Queen Alexandria Bridge. Opened in 1909, and it was a double-decker. Cars underneath, trains on top. The train part didn't really last. I think the last train that ran on there was 1921, so the internet tells us. We'll leave that one in the dust. And this is one of the first boats I've actually seen floating on the river. Go on, Maria. And here's another one claimed by the banks of the River Wear. Let's hope I don't join it. But it's so peaceful on the river. I get a proper sense of solitude, nobody else around, just me, listening to the birds, taking it all in. Right, next up is, and I'm not even going to try and pronounce it, Big Crane Factory. That's on my right, but more importantly, their right centre of shot, the home of Sunderland AFC, Stadium of Light. And the mighty Red and White Armies just qualified for Europe for the first time in 50 something years. Me and my lad were there. What a day. Right, and here's Sunderland's newest bridge, the Kiel Crossing. And that was named through a public vote. And Kiel obviously taking its name from a ship in Sunderland's famous shipbuilding history. I've actually crossed this on a number of occasions, but the most memorable was when Sunderland beat Newcastle a few months ago. Me and my little lad walked across it. It was absolutely packed. What a day that was. So we're slowly making our way down towards the final two bridges here, the Wearmouth and the Monk Wearmouth bridges. The tide just taking us along nicely towards the mouth of the river. And there's something quite disorientating about paddling underneath the bridges. I kind of lean back, look up, and you feel properly disorientated. Love it though. So this first one here is the Monk Wearmouth, and that's what the trains go over, so the Metro and some of the bigger ones. And then next to that is the Wearmouth itself, so that's the car bridge and pedestrian. But the last time I did this route, I was going against the tide, and that was a proper workout. But today is a little more relaxed. I am, however, slightly nervous about going out to the mouth of the river with the outgoing tide, but we'll see how we get on. But I've had no issues with the Packraft so far on this trip. Last time I took this route, I did stop off underneath the Kiel Crossing because the boat felt like it was losing air. I don't think it actually was, I just think it was the kind of temperature difference. It was a really hot day and obviously the water was quite cold. So maybe it lost a bit of pressure because of that. But no issue today. Right, so I wanted to test myself. Could I go against the tide? So I spun myself around and had a good paddle. Turns out I could. So I was safe to approach the mouth of the river. And now we're just approaching the National Glass Centre, which is owned, I believe, by Sunderland University, but it's under threat of closure. I think the university are arguing that it's not financially viable, and to be fair, we haven't visited for a long time. But it is an interesting structure. It's got a glass roof on top, which is all fenced off at the moment. Anyway, onwards to the final stretch of the journey. We're now approaching the marina, that's on my left hand side, and then you've got the Port of Sunderland on the right. There are some big ships coming in and out of here sometimes, not today. And at this point, I saw a chap fishing. I couldn't see his line, so I just gave it a wide berth, pushed out into the middle of the river, and scooted past. And here we can see the lighthouse on the northern pier, the famous view which is on the Sunderland away shirt this season. And we're just approaching the groin piece that we need to go around on the left here. The water starts to get a little bit more bobby as we get towards the sea. It's actually quite fun. Now you can quite often spot dolphins in this harbour here between the piers, but unfortunately none today. final few strokes, and we eventually touch down in terra firma. Right, let's try and get out of this boat without getting my feet too wet. Easy. Right, time to get this thing deflated, packed up, and then off for a coffee. And this is the beauty of the Packraft. Scrunches all down lovely. Wrestle it into your rucksack whilst missing out on these fantastic views. Job done, and we're off. Make sure you've not left nothing behind, and go and get that coffee. I do like a bit of street art. Sunderland Life Brigade. Some brave boys and girls there. Time for a leg workout, considering I've been sat on my arse for the last hour or so. And these boys are doing it proper. Sunderland Half Marathon. Quick whiz across the road and off to the metro. And that wraps this one up, folks. Cracking little adventure in the morning over the moon. If you enjoyed it, give it a like, stick a comment in, stick around for future adventures.